first, the photographs frightened me.
You snap one of these things, and when you start asking questions, it starts answering. I don't know how to explain how bizarre that feels.
Never, ever have I come across anything like this at all before.
In this hillside home in Southern California, John Matkowski and John Huckert are not alone.
I'll be standing there reading something at the desk or something, and I'll feel a hand come up and place it on my shoulder. And of course, I turn around to see who it is, and there's nobody there. And then I get sort of a jolt of adrenaline or whatever. It makes me kind of nervous.
Sort of like a sunburn on my arms. It's the only way I can explain it. And that's how I usually know if there's some kind of presence here or something.
Soon, the entity appears in a series of alarming photographs.
I took the picture of the bathroom door over by the bathroom and got this really strange-looking thing that was either scary or comical.
As if testing the power they had over the pictures, the spirits began writing on the film.
We asked him what his name was, just assuming that it's a presence. And we asked him his name, and he answered on the Polaroid. He told us his name was Wright. And we were like, we still didn't believe it. So we'd ask him if he was a good ghost or bad ghost, and he answered friend.
The two men continued asking questions, and the spirits answered. Over 100 shots were taken, some scrawled with words that didn't make sense, until Matkowski discovered it was Latin.
We have asked him if he died in his house, and his answer was in Latin. He answered that, among other things, he did die in his house.
Hoping to unravel this mystery, they called famed parapsychologist Carrie Gaynor.
In my line of work, we spend a great deal of time waiting and watching and wondering and hoping. We don't experience phenomena very often. But when something happens, it's so exciting, it's so exhilarating. It's a moment of connectedness with something that's just mysterious, exciting, unknown.
Gaynor conducts an experiment. 4 new cameras are brought in. Fresh film from Polaroid is examined, logged, then loaded into the cameras. With a video crew documenting the event, the first questions are asked.
Are most spirits good spirits or bad spirits?
Would the spirits reveal themselves under these controlled conditions?
There are numerous remedial lemures.
In Roman mythology, the night-walking spirits of the dead.
Hello!
The film was examined before and after to make sure that no tricks were used to create the shots.
These were shots that were taken today. A few minutes ago, they were shot and came out of the Polaroid. I actually watched them eject out of the Polaroid, and now I'm in the process of evaluating, trying to decide if they're actually authentic or if they've been manipulated.
Time and time again, the spirits channel their energy into the pictures, answering questions, posing even more.
If they can write on Polaroid film while it's inside a camera, what else can they do? I mean, what next? It reaches to the outer limits of our imagination.
Confident that there was no natural explanation for the photographs, Huckert and Matkowski contact Peter James to find out who or what they are living with. James channels the spirits.
I feel that this area here is, within the bedroom, is a hot spot. Or perhaps this is where the individual died in this particular area, because this is where I feel it strongest.
Having contacted the spirits, he moves to the living room where he senses a psychic vortex.
Feels like something could literally come from below and come through the floor, and it feels like something is beginning to surface.
A picture is taken, revealing the spirits whirling around James.
My experience here today clearly is telling me to convey to you that your probing here should be ongoing.
Next on Unexplained Mysteries, new developments in the ghostwriting case.
I guess I was a little curious and I said, well, can you take a picture?
A psychic makes a disturbing revelation.
Peter James told us about a dead body that he claims is buried under the house.
The message that changed a young man's life.
All of a sudden, on the side of my face is the word try.
And we'll reveal more secrets about this remarkable haunting.
Whatever is on the Polaroids, it is their way of saying, pay attention, this is how we're communicating with you.
I didn't believe in ghosts for the longest time, and my experiences have taught me differently.
It's bigger than what anybody could ever.
When Peter James first arrived at the house of John Huckert and John Mitkowski, he was skeptical that an entity was using Polaroid film to communicate.
In all of my years of delving into the paranormal world, I have never seen an entity present itself in that fashion. But I will say that all things are possible, and perhaps this is something new that I have never encountered.
After visiting the house and seeing the pictures for himself, James is convinced.
Whatever is on the Polaroids, it is their way of saying, pay attention, this is how we're communicating with you.
Peter left the house with several clues to the source of the haunting.
Well, one of the times Peter James was here, he suggested that we dig in the yard. I'll show you where. It was over here. He said that if we dug right here, we would find something significant.
What they unearthed was a long crypt-like object.
We don't know what it was for, but he was right. If we dug here, we'd get something.
Another one of Peter's predictions may explain the vortex he felt in the living room.
And I got that tingling sensation right now. And it's also very cold here. It's almost like one would stand on a foot massager and feel the energy coming in from your feet, through your feet, from the floor, and it's going through my entire body.
Peter James told us about a dead body that he claims is buried under the house. And in here is where the body supposedly is buried, right over here. Near the TV set is where there's supposedly a dead body buried under the floor. We've had a number of psychics come in, and they've brought in magnetometers and different kinds of instruments. And whenever you take it over that spot, it goes off the scale.
And then the photograph stopped. The entity known as Wright remained quiet for almost 2 years, until one day, a friend came over.
I guess I was a little curious and I said, well, can you take a picture? And John says, well, we've taken pictures before, and it hasn't been around, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2 years. And I said, oh, well, let's just take a picture of me and see what happens.
We took a picture, and next thing you know, it started talking again.
And all of a sudden, I see all these, as the picture develops, there's all these white lines all over my face. And we're looking at it, I'm all like, wow, this is pretty cool. All of a sudden, on the side of my face is the word try.
But this time, the messages were more detailed and more personal.
Some people have very unique experiences here, very personal experiences, and it has changed many people's lives. They've actually restructured the way they've approached their lives after experiencing what's going on in this house.
But no one's life has been touched more than Noel's.
And I did ask him if, you know, what he was. I mean, what are you? I mean, are you a guardian angel? You know, and he came back with the words, God's light.
And he talks about Noel a lot. Noel's very important to him.
It says more to me because I guess I'm the youngest of the three, and I probably had the most growing up, so it had a lot to do with just life in general, and it just would guide me in kind of like a spiritual way.
And it's supportive and friendly and occasionally a little surprising and maybe a little frightening, but nothing I want to leave.
There have been many theories about why this is happening, but John and Noel have stopped looking for answers.
We've heard everything from ley lines to vortexes to energy streams that enable him to be able to do it at this particular location, whereas he possibly can do it in other places, but for some reason it's happening here.
It's so hard to explain. It's almost like something that you have to experience for yourself.